Okay, so today we're going to dive into something that's super relevant for a lot of people in India right now, and that is English public speaking.
Yeah,
We've got a ton of research here that really shows that it's not just like a nice to have skill anymore. It's kind of like,
it's essential.
yeah, it's essential for success.
Absolutely.
So we're going to try to break down the most important things that we found for you.
Yeah, and what we really saw is that English public speaking, it's like this key, it unlocks all these opportunities in India today, right? It affects your career, your education, the way you connect with people, everything.
Right, so like right off the bat, like when you think about your job, your career,
Yeah.
we saw it over and over again that employers, like big companies, IT, finance, even healthcare, like across all these sectors, they're saying like strong English communication skills.
Yeah.
It's like the number one thing they're looking for.
Right, and it's not just like the big international companies anymore. Even companies just in India that maybe work with international partners,
Yeah,
they're saying, hey, we need people who can speak English well.
that's a big change.
And it's not just about getting the job. It's like you can actually make more money.
Oh yeah, the research showed some pretty surprising numbers.
Yeah, like men with good English skills, they can earn like over 30% more.
Wow.
And even if you just have like basic English, you can still earn more.
Hmm.
So it really pays off.
Yeah, yeah. And like, think about the tech world. You know,
Absolutely.
English is like the language of everything they do right. Like
Mhm.
all the coding, all the documentation, everything.
Right. If you can't communicate in English, you're going to be left behind.
Or like if you're in tourism or hospitality,
Yeah.
you got to talk to people from all over the world.
Exactly. So English becomes really important there too.
It's like it opens up so many more possibilities for you if you can speak English well.
And it's not just about getting that first job, it's about like moving up in your career,
Oh, yeah.
getting promotions, being able to take on bigger roles.
The research called it social mobility.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Like you can get a better education, you can get scholarships, you can move more easily in like professional settings.
It's almost like it helps you develop important skills without even realizing it.
Right, because you're exposed to so much more information. You're thinking critically, you're problem solving, and you're doing it all in English.
And what's really cool is that we found that like most Indian professionals, like they get it.
Yeah, they understand that English is important for their careers.
They see the value in it.
It's not just something that we're saying. It's like people
Yeah.
on the ground are saying, hey, this is important.
And you know something else that really stood out to me were the stories.
Oh, the stories are
Well,
incredible.
people who literally changed their lives
Yeah.
by learning to speak English better.
We're talking about like entrepreneurs who went from being nervous to becoming these amazing presenters,
Yeah, or like homemakers who overcame like a lifelong fear of speaking English.
or people who were already successful in their careers but then learned English later in life. And it took them to a whole new level.
Like it wasn't just theory, it was like real people doing amazing things.
Yeah, like these are paths that you could follow too.
Yeah, and it's not just individuals. We saw examples of entire companies,
Oh, yeah.
like those e-commerce businesses using English to reach customers all over the world.
Exactly. And think about all those influential leaders who use their English speaking skills to inspire people.
We even came across some really powerful testimonials, right?
Hmm.
Like Anjali, who got a promotion to manager,
Yeah.
or Rocky Kumaran, who started her own English language training company.
It's amazing.
And then there was Akash, who landed that dream IT job.
All because they improved their English speaking skills.
And you know what? It's funny, like when you read autobiographies of successful Indians,
Yeah,
a lot of them talk about how important English was for them.
it's a recurring theme.
But of course, like anything worthwhile,
Yeah.
it's not always easy.
There are definitely challenges.
What were some of the big ones that stood out to you?
Well, the linguistic challenges are obvious, right? Like pronunciation can be tricky.
Especially with all the different regional languages in India.
Exactly. Like those sounds that are specific to certain languages can be hard to master.
And then there's vocabulary, grammar, spelling,
Oh, yeah.
even just dealing with all the different accents out there.
And sometimes we use phrases that are common in Indian English, but people from other countries might not understand.
Yeah, like those Indianisms.
Right.
And then there's a whole issue of like inconsistent education quality.
Yeah, not everyone has access to the same level of English language instruction.
Right. And then on top of all that, there are the psychological barriers,
Oh, yeah, those can be even tougher to overcome.
like the fear of being judged,
Or being self-conscious about your accent.
or just like lacking confidence in general.
And sometimes our mother tongue can influence the way we speak English.
Yeah. And it can be hard to break those habits.
It was actually kind of sad to see research that said some engineering graduates are unemployable. Yeah, because of their communication skills.
Wow.
And we also saw that people in rural areas tend to have more anxiety about speaking English.
That makes sense.
But the good news is there are tons of things you can do to improve.
Yeah. The research actually had a lot of really practical advice.
It's not about being perfect right away.
Yeah.
It's about practicing consistently and becoming more fluent over time.
Like just immersing yourself in English as much as possible.
Yeah, like watch movies, listen to music, listen to podcasts.
Even just change the language on your phone and computer to English.
All of that helps.
And what I thought was really interesting was the emphasis on active learning,
Oh, yeah.
like actually paying attention to how native speakers talk
Right, and trying to imitate them.
and learning whole phrases instead of just individual words.
And there are so many apps and websites that can help you.
You can even record yourself speaking
Yeah.
and then listen back to it to see what you need to work on.
That can be really helpful.
And then don't forget about the social aspect,
Oh.
like joining speaking clubs or language exchange programs.
Or just practicing with friends or family.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to ask for feedback.
It's all about getting out there and using the language.
And something else that was really encouraging was the idea of accent acceptance.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's okay if you have an accent.
Exactly.
What matters is that you can communicate clearly.
Focus on getting your message across.
And don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Everyone makes mistakes.
It's part of the learning process.
And be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
Positive self-talk can make a big difference.
Even mindfulness and relaxation techniques can help with, like, public speaking anxiety.
Absolutely.
So, like, now let's shift gears a bit and talk about how English is like a gateway to knowledge.
Okay.
Like, it's pretty clear that English is the main language used in most universities.
Yeah, especially the really prestigious ones in India and abroad.
Because basically, if you want to get a good education,
Yeah.
you need to know English.
It opens up a whole world of information for you.
Like, the internet is mostly in English, right?
Yeah, it's like the dominant language online.
And even streaming services are becoming more and more popular in India.
So many people are watching shows and movies in English now.
It's crazy.
And for anyone who wants to be like an expert in their field,
Yeah.
English is the key to global research.
Like all those scholarly articles and journals.
They're almost all in English.
And there's some cool initiatives happening to make those resources more accessible,
Yeah, like the One Nation, One subscription scheme.
which aims to give everyone in India access to these important research databases.
Which are mostly in English, of course.
And it's not just about consuming information.
Right.
India is actually contributing a lot to English language research itself.
Exactly.
It's like a two-way street.
English helps us learn from the world, and it helps us share our knowledge with the world.
And it also helps to bridge the digital divide.
Yeah, because so much information and so many online services are only available in English.
So if you can't speak English, you're kind of cut off from all of that.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about careers and knowledge.
Yeah.
What about like the professional world in general?
Well, the demand for people with good English skills is just going up.
Like across the board?
Yeah, tech, finance, healthcare, education, hospitality, tourism, you name it.
Wow.
And it's not just about getting hired.
Right.
It's about getting ahead.
Like promotions.
Yeah, exactly.
Or being able to communicate more effectively with colleagues and clients.
And being seen as more professional and competent.
And having more success in interviews.
Absolutely.
And if you're aiming for a leadership position,
Yeah.
strong English communication skills are pretty much a must-have.
Especially if you're working with international teams.
And being able to articulate your ideas clearly in meetings and presentations.
Yeah, that's crucial.
And some studies even show that people with better English skills earn more money.
And they're more likely to develop those important leadership qualities.
So basically, like, there's no downside to improving your English.
Exactly.
And the best part is,
Yeah.
there are so many resources available to help you.
Like a ton.
We're talking online courses.
Yeah, like Klopingo and Henry Harvin,
Mobile apps,
like ELSA Speak and Duolingo.
even public speaking academies and language exchange groups.
And the great thing is there's something for everyone.
Yeah, like whether you prefer structured courses or informal practice.
Or whether you have a lot of money to spend or not much at all.
And there are even resources provided by the government and organizations like the British Council. So you really have no excuse.
No excuse.
Okay, so last but not least,
Yeah.
let's talk about the cultural and social advantages of speaking English.
In India, English is like a common language.
Yeah, it helps people from different parts of the country understand each other.
It breaks down those communication barriers
And it allows you to connect with people from all over the world
and experience different cultures,
and access a wider range of media and entertainment.
like books, movies, music, all of that.
And it also empowers Indians to share their own culture with the world.
So it's really a win-win.
So to wrap it all up,
Yeah,
English public speaking is super important in India today.
no doubt about it.
It can help you in your career, your education, your social life.
And there are so many resources available to help you improve.
So what are you waiting for?
That's a good question.
Think about all the amazing things you could achieve
Yeah.
if you could confidently speak English.
What doors could it open for you?
What conversations could you be a part of?
What impact could you have on the world?
It's something to think about.
It is.
Okay, that's all the time we have for today.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.